to worship with the Unitarian Universalist Church of Ventura. I am the Reverend Dana Worsnop, and I am honored and actually thoroughly delighted to serve this congregation. And I welcome all here in person and online. And I welcome you however you arrive this day, however you have arrived here in the room and there in your homes. If you arrive full of hope, welcome. Weary unto despair, welcome. New to this community, welcome. Bringing decades of connections here to this place, welcome. Our theme for the month of January is living with intention. A new year can be such a good time to set intentions, which always to me sounds so much lighter than making a New Year's resolution. Resolutions are almost made to be broken, yet intention can grow and evolve as it unfolds. So this first Sunday of 2022, we will partake of our annual fire communion ritual, setting intention for the weeks and months ahead while burning away the obstacles to such authentic living. And I forgot something, because we're still figuring out the rhythm and flow of all of this. And so we need to gather by ringing our bell. Can we get the magic slide up? There we go. And we ring our bell 3 times. Welcome. Welcome. So, those of you who are Zooming or streaming, to participate in our rituals, you will need 2 pieces of paper today, one for keeping and one for burning, and also a source of fire. Lighting your own chalice at home is a great source of fire, or perhaps you just have a candle or even a fire blazing in your fireplace. Those of you who are here should have gotten 2 pieces of paper when you came in. Yes? If you haven't, Gudrun is coming through with some. And also a writing implement if you need one. One is for keeping and one is for burning. And on this day and always, let us keep before us the memory of all who came before, with the knowledge that we live here, woven into this community, and acknowledging those who have been on these lands for thousands of years. The Chumash people who wove themselves into communities as the original inhabitants of the land we now have given the names of towns like Oxnard and Ventura. I also want to note that our music director, Carolyn Bjerke, is not here with us in the sanctuary. Her family has been exposed to COVID, and so she'll be beaming and Zooming, streaming her way into our sanctuary and our homes. And as our pandemic continues its twists and turns, we find new ways to adapt and pivot. And now that means staying at home if you are feeling at all ill. Just do that, please. And also staying aware, caring for our health, and following COVID protocols. And thank you, Carolyn, for doing that. And may your family, dear Carolyn, get better soon. So now let us cross the threshold into this new year together. And let us enter sacred space.
Good morning, everybody. Also, I'm Jerry Mendelson, and very happy New Year again to all of you, wherever you are, here or at home. I hope those of you joining us from home have a candle or a chalice to light. So let's please join Reverend Dana as we light our chalices together with these words from Lois Van Leer. We light this chalice on the brink of a new year, letting go of what has been, open and hopeful for what may come, renewed, restored, ready to live life fully anew. May we move forward with intention.
We begin our service this morning with these words adapted from Cecil Williams. We come together in acknowledgement of our need for one another.
Some of us need to be heard, but have no one who will really listen. Some of us need to be loved, and some of us need to love.
Some of us want to change, but it's too painful. Some of us are lonely, but are afraid to tell anyone.
Some of us are sick of ourselves and others, but don't know what to do about it. Some of us want to be ourselves, but it seems as though other people won't let us.
Some of us want the world to be a better place, but feel weighed down by a sense of futility. Some of us don't even know what we want, but hope we can find it here.
We come together, sometimes in fear, sometimes in trust, sometimes in pain, sometimes in joy, but always in hope and faith that we can help and strengthen each other in our quest for healing.
Come, let us worship together.
Good morning. I'm Carolyn Bierke, the music director, and I would like to welcome you all to our service. I'm so grateful for technology and the incredible teamwork and expertise of our tech team, allowing me to be part of the service today. I'm so glad that we can be together in person or on Zoom. Please join me in our first hymn, Rise Up, O Flame. We will sing it 3 times. So now, if you are in the sanctuary, please rise in body or spirit, and together we will all join in singing. Rise up, O flame, by thy light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy. Rise up, O flame.
Alice Walker writes, expect nothing. Live frugally on surprise. Become a stranger to the need for pity. Or if compassion be freely given out, take only enough. Wish for nothing larger than your own small heart, or greater than a star. Tame wild disappointment with a caress. Unmoved and cold, make a parka. Make of it a parka for your soul. Discover the reason why so tiny human midget exists at all. So scared and unwise. But expect nothing. Live frugally on surprise. In this poem, perhaps Walker is riffing on a line from an 18th century English poet. Expect nothing, and you'll never be disappointed. The psychology of happiness or well-being is a growing area of study. A course offered at Yale, originally called Psych 157, The Science of Well-Being, quickly filled a 1,200-seat auditorium, and a version of this is now online for free. And the science of happiness, psychologists are finding that a big part of inner happiness lies in our expectations, not necessarily in having none at all, but in managing healthy expectations and balancing them with resilience when inevitably some of our expectations are not met. And yet, are you as weary as I am to be living in a world that keeps turning upside down every few days, weeks, months, even every few minutes and hours, as it did for the whole worship team just last night? A world that continues to defy perfectly reasonable expectations. So welcome to the land of no expectations. Here we are. From the beginning of this pandemic, I have thought that it has uncovered the deeper reality of how little control we actually have in our lives. That control of almost any kind is an illusion. It is a very useful illusion. Often, usually, we need it, yet it is an illusion all the same. So how to enter a new year, another new year, holding no expectations, and still live an actual life? There lies in this potentially a profound spiritual practice. For to live without expectations would indeed require us to be present in each moment, which ultimately is the goal of so many spiritual practices. The gift in such a practice is in more than never being disappointed. Although honestly, never being disappointed is such a very low bar. The gift here is the possibility of what Alice Walker talks about, the possibility of living in a state of regular surprise and delight. In the midst of a pandemic which has foiled a whole series of expectations, steadily and one after the other, this can become almost a survival strategy as well as a deep spiritual practice. Putting those two together could be very powerful indeed. The pandemic has affected our physical health, and the strategies for containing it have delivered blow after blow to our mental health often. And I do not mean to dismiss anyone's loneliness or despair or anger through all of these last 2 years with some clever adage about expectations. And yet, staying open to an element of surprise and delight can take the edge off despair. It can give us hope that a different world is still possible. And so we come to a ritual in two parts. The first part being a ritual of welcoming the new year, while still inhabiting the land of no expectations. Now, I am not a big fan of New Year's resolutions because so often they seem to be just another setup for disappointment. Today, rather, consider what you want to invite into your life in this coming year. What do you want to open your heart to? Less than expectation, more an invitation to possibility. Holding it as lightly as possible, not to create some new expectation, this must happen in this new year, and yet still also keeping yourself open to this new thing that might arise. May this be so that we can hold things lightly and hold our hearts open. May it be so in this year that is unfolding before us.
Our first ritual this morning is for welcoming the new year. Living in the land of no expectations makes the setting of New Year's resolutions even more complicated.
What would you like to invite into your life, the world? So now at home or here in the sanctuary, get out your first piece of paper. This is the one that has a design on the back of it if you are here in the sanctuary. You choose which one is your first piece of paper at home as you desire. Get out your first piece of paper. This is the one that is for keeping.
Don't feel the need for something grand or ambitious. We invite you to think smallish.
What would you like to be possible in this new year? How might you keep your heart open to it? Take some moments to think, then write a word or a phrase on your first piece of paper. Those of you on Zoom can also write your word or phrase into the chat to share with others there on Zoom. Just take some moments.
Keep this piece of paper through the year. You can put it on the refrigerator, tuck it into your wallet or purse, slip it into a drawer to surprise you in the weeks and months ahead.
Each Sunday, this congregation gives away our collection to an organization in the larger community or to funds that help people in our own church. Those at home have two ways to give: through the link that is posted in the chat on Zoom, and by texting from your phone, the number up on your screens, 844-901-1779. You here present can text to give, or you can still write a check or give cash and drop it in the baskets at the back of the sanctuary after the service. Our offering this week goes to our own Lift Up Your Voice to End Homelessness Moving In project, which provides furniture and household items for people moving into a new home after having experienced homelessness for some time. Kathy Powell shares this story about a little boy named Trillian and his family. I met the family at our storage unit, Kathy says, so they could look through and see what would work for their new apartment. I learned that Trillian's family had been victims of a horrific crime that had seriously injured Trillian's 7-year-old sister, a trauma that continues for them as the perpetrators are now on trial. It felt so good to be able to help them move on by moving in. One church member had donated a child-sized rocking chair. Trillian found it. It was tucked under a table right at his eye level. And he dragged it out immediately, dragging it on over to their car, taking breaks to enjoy it along the way. He looks like he's having a grand time. The family also got a kitchen box from Orchard Community Church with starter kitchen supplies. A member of the Church of the Foothills also was helping load the truck that day. Through the efforts of several congregations supporting this program, we showered love on this family who had been through so much. In 2021, Moving In helped 110 people and 73 households. Each and every one of them is grateful for your support, which enables us to carry on the work of this sacred project. Oh my, what a tapestry of love we weave in this congregation, within and among and beyond it. Grateful for your generosity.
Part of life is its joys and sorrows, and it gives us strength to share these experiences within our UU community so that we can support one another. We place stones in water for both the ups and downs in our hearts, with the ripples that result touching us all. You can submit a joy or sorrow via the link on the website, uuventura.org, or a link in our Thursday email bulletin, UUCV this week. Those received by 10 p.m. on Saturday will be shared that next day, Sunday. You are invited now to speak into the gathered community or write into the Zoom chat the names of those you wish to celebrate, memorialize, or those in need of the loving embrace of this beloved community. Please feel free to continue to add to the chat even after our silent pause. Reverend Dana will now place one final stone in the water for all the joys and sorrows yet unspoken in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. May we be truly grateful for all that is our life.
Please remain seated and join me in singing though I may speak with bravest fire. Though I may speak with bravest fire and have the gift to all inspire and have not love, my words are vain as sounding brass and hopeless gain. Though I may give all I possess and striving so my love profess, but not begin my love within, the prophet soon turns strangely thin. Come, Spirit, come, our hearts control, our spirits long to be made whole. Let inward love guide every need. By this we worship and are freed.
We offer this reading from Vanessa Southern. Even this is enough. So much undone, so much to do, so much to heal in us and the world.
So much to acquire: a meal, a healthy body, a fit one, a lover, a job, a better one. Proof we have and are enough. And up against it, the reality of all that falls short and the limits of today.
We honor the limits. If your body won't do what it used to, for right now, let it be enough. If your mind won't stop racing or can't think of the word, let it be enough. If you are here utterly alone and in despair, be all that here with us.
If today you cannot sing because your throat hurts, or you don't have the heart for music, be silent. When the call to the offering goes up, and if you don't have any money to give or the heart to give, let it pass.
The world won't stop spinning on her axis if you don't rise to all occasions today. Love won't cease to flow in your direction. Your heart won't stop beating. All hope won't be lost.
You are part of the plan for this world's salvation. The world needs its oceans of people striving to be good, to carry us to the shores of hope and wash fear from the beachheads and cleanse all wounds so they can heal.
But oceans are big, and I'm sure there are parts that don't feel up to the task some days. Rest, then like the swimmer lying on her back who floats, or the hawk carried on cushions of air. Find the space carved out for the doing of nothing much but being.
Perhaps then you will feel in your bones, in your weary heart, the aching, healing sense that this is enough. Even this, that we are enough, that you are enough. enough. May it be so.
I'm just an old chunk of coal, but I'm going to be a diamond someday. I'm just an old chunk of coal, but I'm gonna be a diamond someday. I'm gonna grow and glow till I'm so blue, pure, perfect. I'm gonna put a smile on everybody's face. I'm gonna kneel and pray every day, lest I should become vain along the way. I'm just an old chunk of coal now, Lord, but I'm gonna be a diamond someday. I'm gonna learn the best words to talk. I'm gonna search and find a better way to walk. Gonna wood spit and polish my old rough-edged self till I get rid of every single flaw. Well, I'm gonna be the world's best friend. Gonna go around shaking everybody's hand. Oh, I'm gonna be the cotton-picking rage of the age. I'm gonna be a diamond someday. I'm just an old chunk of coal, but I'm gonna be a diamond someday. I'm gonna grow and glow till I'm so blue, pure, perfect. I'm gonna put a smile on everybody's face. I'm gonna kneel and pray every day, lest I should become vain along the way. Hey, I'm just an old chunk of coal now, Lord, but I'm gonna be a diamond someday. Hey, I'm just an old chunk of coal now, Lord, but I'm gonna be a diamond someday.
George, thank you, thank you, thank you. One of the pivots that needed to happen today for this Sunday involved George coming up, deciding to sing that song at, oh, what was it, 7 o'clock last night? Yeah, something like that. Lots of things, many different moving parts for this Sunday. Thank you, George. Author Zora Neale Hurston once wrote, "There are years that ask questions and years that answer." Huh. I think I know what this one qualifies as. This past one, how about the next one? Not sure. Quoting Hurston, Anne Brannigan recently wrote in the Washington Post, "Whether you've had a year of questions or a year of answers has always been a matter of personal perspective and circumstances. But while every year has its ebbs and flows, its triumphs and tragedies, its fond farewells and good riddances, there is widespread agreement among many that 2021 was defined personally and collectively by its twists and turns." Another way of surviving another year through all the twists and turns in the land of no expectations is to think about setting intentions. Rather than making resolutions on a yet rather than making resolutions or yet still somehow dearly expecting a particular outcome in the next year. All of us, we are all lumps of coal. As the pressures of the world bear in upon us, we are also, though, transforming. I am not sure we ever get to see the perfectly faceted diamond we are becoming. Yet even as we are craggy lumps of coal, we are also already the diamond. One thing I have been learning to release in this COVID time is a certain kind of ambition. I'm not feeling as needful of doing and being in a kind of way that I have before. As Vanessa Southern tells us, the world needs its oceans of people striving to be good. At the very least, we get to swim in that ocean together. Together, may we also be carried to the shores of hope, our fears washed from the beachheads, and our wounds cleansed so that they can heal. We are, each of us, all of us, part of the plan for this world's salvation. And when it all gets too much, we can lie back and float, finding the space carved out for the doing of nothing much but being. And know that this is enough. What gets in the way of your experiencing such enoughness? Burn it away. What gets in the way of the flourishing of your human being? Often it is an expectation of one sort or another. Burn it away. Perhaps the expectation is of a certain kind of achievement. Burn it away. Perhaps it is an old voice, a habit of mind or body that gets in the way of achieving something. Burn that away. It is not easy living in this land of no expectations, yet at least we are living here together. And on this day, with this ritual, may we enter it again more lightly, with lighter hearts, intentionally held open to possibility, able to be surprised and delighted. May it be so. So now we come to our annual fire communion, in which you are invited to burn away, release, surrender that which no longer serves you.
You may burn away something that gets in the way of your delight, something that blocks your creativity or capacity, or an obstacle to living with intention and attention. Give
it up. Let go. Does it seem a little backwards perhaps to welcome the new year first and then release the old one? Well, maybe it does. Did you have some expectations? Did you? You may release those too.
We invite you to write a word or phrase about what you want to burn away on your second piece of paper. For those here in the sanctuary, it's the tissue-like flash paper.
When you have written on it, you may come forward and consign it to the flames. Flash paper always flares up a little brightly at first and then vanishes without smoke or ash. Jerry and I will demonstrate by burning away our obstacles to joy and delight or achievement and happiness first. Those of you at home can burn your own paper and write what you are releasing into the Zoom chat if you wish. Here in the sanctuary, please come forward in silence with some space between you, so you don't even need to, just as you are called, as it feels like time, and burn away that which holds you back or weighs heavy on your heart. that which weighs us down could vanish with quite such a dramatic flash all the time. Please join me in prayer. Holy beingness of many names and no name, fire, spark of life, spirit of beginnings and endings, that dwells within and among and beyond us this day and always. May we hold in our hearts, holding lightly as we look back to the losses of these last 2 years. The losses of people, of hopes, of a sense of certainty, control. These years seem to keep asking more of us. And yet, we continue to respond, often with dignity and grace and pivoting in a moment, yet sometimes begrudgingly, sometimes downright grumpily. And yet may our spirits continue to hold, continue to shine brightly, continue to move forward into the unknown. And when our flame dims, our spirits waver, may we hold each other, knowing that we will carry on and get through yet together. And may all those who are ill find healing. May those who are in despair find hope. May those who are lonely feel the warmth of community. May those who are without shelter find home. And may all those suffering in conflict and war and disruption throughout the world, may we all find peace. Amen. And blessed be.
If you are in the sanctuary, please rise in body or spirit. And all of us together, let's join in singing Building a New Way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working
Please join me in reading the words on the screen as we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment, those we carry into our lives until we are together again.
So I invite those of you who are on Zoom to go into breakout rooms and share a little bit more about what you are inviting into your lives this year, what you are burning away. And those of you here, if you have cash or checks, you can please put them for the Moving In project. You can put them in the basket in the back. And I leave you with words adapted from an anonymous author. A prayer of good intention. Dear Lord, so far I've done all right. I haven't gossiped, lost my temper. I haven't been greedy, grumpy, nasty, selfish, or overindulgent. And I'm really glad about that. But in a few minutes, God, I'm going to get out of bed. And from then on, I'm going to need a lot more help. Oh, it is a good thing we are in this together, is it not? Go forth in love. Go forth in peace. Happy, happy New Year to all. May it be so.